Today, I'm happy to have with me William Ying of Shun Mook. I discovered Shun Mook, I think, first back at Alexis Park, the Consumer Electronics Show, maybe in the 90s, and was pretty amazed and followed it ever since then. At that time, I, years later, found out that you were local. And then we became friends and started hanging out at each other's houses, and I thought, this man's story needs to be told, and we need to document the full history of Shun Mook. So let's start out by asking you, how would you define Shun Mook?
Shun Mook in Chinese characters is divine wood or God's wood. Okay, so we use that name because it is from the wood that we derive all the Shun Mook technology. If you look at all the instruments in an orchestra, most of it is wood. The strings, clarinets, oboes, and even the big drums, they are made out of wood. Because we derive all our technique from wood, that's why we call it Shun Mook. Because even though we select the Chinese word, Shun Mook means divine, then wood, that's how it got the name.
And when you started the company, what did you feel was lacking in the world of audio reproduction that you hoped to achieve? Or what was the realization that you had that made you feel compelled to start Shun Mook? What was the original kind of vision and goal that you thought was lacking?
It was nothing like this. We just stumbled onto Shun Mook by accident. Because during that time in late 80s, I met my partner, Dr. Tan. He immigrated to the Bay Area from Hong Kong. And a mutual friend of ours, who was part of a guitar band that I had in the 60s, introduced me to Dr. Tan. So I went to his house in Fremont at that time, and he had a hi-fi sitting there. So we started listening to his hi-fi. I only had a brief hi-fi experience in the 1960s where my colleague, when I worked in Hong Kong Royal Observatory, had this gorgeous early hi-fi system with Clipshorn, Macintosh electronics, Marantz, and Torrance turntable. So at that time, I was young, but I know music because I grew up listening to the radio in Hong Kong, the Western music. And it was cool and hanging out with my friend. He's a senior guy. So we just brew coffee, drink, and listen to music. And that was just it. Later on, when I immigrated to America, I forgot all about hi-fi. Make a living, get a job, earn a living. So when I met Dr. Tan, I said, wow, you can have hi-fi this good. So he was a medical doctor, but in Hong Kong, he was already a famous audio tweaker. So famous in Hong Kong. He's a medical doctor, but hi-fi is first. So sometimes when he was working on seeing patients, he said, hold on, change your appointment, I have to go to play hi-fi with his buddies. So he came, he had a house in Fremont, went to his house, and he started playing. He had a audio research SB10 system with Celestion 700.
I remember those.
Yeah.
I had the SL6.
Yeah, SL700 small speaker with the audio research power amp. Yeah. And it was very good in a tiny room because he didn't have a big room. So his wife only let him use a small room. So, and our friend that came from Hong Kong, he became an audio nut. Later on, he said, wow, I got some wood in Hong Kong and tested it. Wow, it was just amazing. So he dragged us to the Macbeth hardwood place in Berkeley.
On Ashby.
And he was knocking on all the hardwood to find a good sounding wood. So he finally ended up buying a few pieces of ebony, rosewood, maple, and he took back to Dr. Tan's house and put it here, put it there, put it underneath, and I can hear the effect.
So the thought was just putting these pieces of wood around the room would affect the acoustics of the room.
Well, at first, it was on the equipment, under the equipment, next to the equipment.
Okay.
The in the room came later.
So the first was touching the equipment itself,
Yeah.
and if it would have an effect
Yeah.
on the resonance of the equipment itself.
Yes.
Got it.
So then that's how I got started, just a hobby. At that time, I was a consulting engineer doing the same job, building hospitals, Kaiser hospitals. I'm designing the electrical systems for them. And it was getting really boring job. So Dr. Tan is MD. He got a license here in California to practice, but he can only get a job at VA. So he got sick with that. And he said, finally he quit, and we both quit and play hi-fi. So we start working on wood, playing with it. And that's how we started. And the first project we did, building that small
LS35A
monitor by using the ebony wood.
Yes.
So that became very good to our ears. And then we discovered, and we keep playing during the week, and we have fun with it. So we finally work around and start working on the wood, ebony itself, and discover building stands for speaker, and then stands for amps. Then we discovered that. So it turned out the tone wood ebony can change the sound acoustically. But it still didn't occur to us to become full-time and go to exhibition in Las Vegas. Until one day, another guy came, he said, well, a Hong Kong dealer came visit us. He said, well, I'm going to the Las Vegas Hi-Fi CES show. I said, well, what is it? It's a hi-fi show for all the manufacturers. So we said, well, that's interesting. So Dr. Tan and I joined him, and when we visited one show in 89 or 88, I said, well, okay. At that time it was very primitive, mixed in with the consumer electronics. So it was only a part of it, some in the casino, Sahara Hotel casino. So it was, the high end is not really high end, but it's small. So we came back, but at that time we were already working on the ebony. How do we can use it? So one day we came upon the idea of making small ebony rounds because we discovered that putting ebony here, there works, and laying it against the wall, a stick will change the sound. And actually the sound follow the ebony. So if you actually hold the ebony and walk around there in the back, the sound will follow it.
So you started with the speaker, and you felt like the cabinet of the speaker itself should be made of ebony instead of other woods that were being used at the time.
Yeah.
And because you felt through just listening, or was there a science behind it, or was it just listening at that time that you said it sounded better?
No science, only hearing.
Only hearing.
Yeah.
And so you started saying to yourself, the harder the wood, the better the sound?
Now, different wood.
Different woods had different sound.
See,
okay.
Mahogany very hard, teak very hard, but it doesn't sound muddy.
Interesting.
So because later on we realized that the teak has oil in it, so it's dull sound. Mahogany also is very oily wood because it's strong, but the structure of the cell is different. While ebony, for some reason, also we observe musical instruments. Why a violin chooses ebony fingerboard, maple neck, spruce top, maple back, maple side. It must be some reason. So Why certain wood? Why don't they use different wood? You know, mahogany easier, cheaper, bigger. But we realized that this kind of wood produces a signature of the sound that is pleasing to the ear. So that's how we derive by working on these material.
It's interesting that there are some sounds as humans, when they vibrate, we like them. And there are some sounds when they vibrate, we don't. I wonder why. Like, so I've read things that like, we like bell bronze. We like things that are carbon-based because maybe our bones are made out of carbon.
The bones itself,
Yeah.
you can have a microphone. If some deaf people, they use the earphone that's touching the bone, and the bone can transmit the sound to the brain.
So after building the speaker out of ebony, you started to realize that putting ebony throughout the room also had a profound effect.
Yes.
And what you started to realize, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the ebony, like a speaker, is acting as a transducer.
Acting like a transducer or a resonance enhancer. Actually, we made the theory behind our disc. The disc itself is already energizing the resonance of the energy.
I think you have one of these discs. Let's take a look.
So it's a disc, simple disc, ebony with a plug, and the plug's actually Brazilian rosewood. Okay, so it's a combination of the two wood with, of course, we have a shooter logo on it, and the logo somehow, to each disc, we did at least a year research on it back and forth, different size, different combination. We finally came up with this solution that this size, this plug has a certain proportion of mass and the structure. Then we discovered that the energy flowing through this is actually very particular. You can feel that you have a logo side and the plug side. So if you weigh it on your hand, and you can weigh it this way, and turn it over and weigh it, and you do it, weigh it over, and you felt the weight is different. So without telling you which one side, I can let you try it.
And is it because of the weight of the plug?
No, you just weigh it. So you feel this way, you flip it over, weigh it, and you tell me which side, is there any different, same, or whatever.
This feels lighter. Feels heavier.
The logo side is heavier.
Yeah. And why is this?
Why is this? I can only guess at it. Okay. Because there's no proof. Even my partner in Korea, who's a quantum mechanics professor, he couldn't figure out why. So it's actually, there's energy going through all these tubes in here. This is a tube going through the disc. Like ebony grain is like this. So it's like thousands of tubes in here, and each tube section is infinitely variable in shape, not round tubes. It's all grown because it's cell, so it's different. So the energy hitting each individual cell is different from the next one. So the pattern is very complex, but therefore it comprises the whole audio spectrum. That's why violin is small, but you can play the real low note and the high note. So that's why the energy is coming through and going through this disc, and it's flowing through here. So we have some trade secret in here to enhance this. Therefore, you feel the weight is different.
So the trade secret we're not going to talk about today.
No. Well, although the very first week that came out, went to Hong Kong first, they just saw it open and tried to find what's inside. They couldn't.
What made you realize that it needed a plug inside of it? Was that just trial and error?
To do research, you make an ebony disc and you put a little bit over it, take this wood over it, you make combination of different combination and put it on the record or put it on the amp and listen. So different combination, different. So we finally arrive by trial and error this formula.
Okay, next question. You've got a little white dot on the side.
Oh, at first it's just a dot, but it's difficult to see if it's black. So we fill it with white silicone. Nothing special about the silicone because we choose silicone because silicone is the material that's very neutral. There's no resonance.
But why is there a white dot on there?
To find the energy flow of the disc. So you can dial this white dot like a tuning knob of your tone control. So for instance, we have 3 on my amp, and you can dial it left and right, dial in, dial out. It will boost the high, boost the low. Very strange. And then you put it on different areas. You can actually, by rotating this, the energy going through it can vary by just rotating the different. See, even though you put it on a transformer.
Yeah.
So the energy is not beside from the speaker in the room, it's actually coming from the transformer, touching it, and it receives it, and it resonates, and it feeds back, and it comes out through the electronics. You would think that putting a disc right next on top of the trunk case has nothing to do with the electronics, but
it does. And so one thing I learned working with you on tuning my room was you felt like the first evil in the room were things that were metal that were maybe not vibrating properly in the room. And so you wanted to put them on things that were metal, including AC plugs, that I think you felt like the loudspeakers were generating the sound and causing those things to vibrate in a bad way, and this could neutralize or change the way that piece of metal vibrated. Is that accurate?
If you study the Chinese text of I Ching, there's one saying that all matter in this universe will resonate. So anything that's an element of the world has energy down to the cell level and even down further to the atomic level. It's just exciting. It's moving around all the time, whether it's cell, atomic, structure. So anything inside your room, the curtain, the wall, the ceiling, carpet, window, all resonate, but differently. But of course, anything metallic has its own metallic resonance sound. And this metallic sound, if you use a brass horn, it's bright, shiny, but if you have a steel plate, it will be totally different. Too much, you overdose, it will become harsh, the sound. So there's a good sounding material, bad sounding material. It's all resonant characteristics of the material itself. So we determined from our observation later on that anything that's non-musical, like granite, marble, stone, metal, plastic, all bad. Good sounding material are wood. Wood, because of the structure, the cell, the resonance, is very musical to the ear. So that's how we came up with the theory of the material acoustics, the materials resonance of all matter makes a difference.
In your room, you don't let those things live here, but sometimes you're treating people's rooms where they're not willing to take it out of the room. Maybe there are aesthetic reasons. Maybe their wife wants a certain thing in the room. So you're trying to make better of a bad situation if the thing has to live in the room by doing your best to remove its poor qualities.
Yes, Dr. Ted has always a saying that your room or acoustics or sound is like a pot of soup. Whatever's in it gives you the taste. So whatever's inside the space will give you the sound. So therefore, any material, anything that's inside can change the sound. And in order to tune it well, so you come in, that's what we come in and help them to tune it with or without removing things. As you can see in my room, I try to keep the metal minimum.
Yeah.
All natural material.
Yeah.
The steel and the amp I cannot avoid.
Right.
But not a steel cabinet loudspeaker.
Yes.
The tile on my fireplace, I covered it with antique newspaper. These newspapers are over 100 years old. Newspapers aged cellular pulp is wood, see? Even though it's a newspaper, inside still cells of wood in the pulp.
And you're insulating your cables with paper like that as well?
No, the
That's
cable,
different.
Shun Mook cable is very simple. We just have to get hold of old wire that's insulated with natural latex and cotton insulation, no plastic.
I see.
That's the idea.
Okay.
So what I do is I was able to purchase a lot of old USA-made Western Electric Corf insulated wire in Japan, because everything is sold as scrap to Japan in the 70s. And then the Japanese build warehouses, put it in there, they buy it by the ton, sell it to you by the foot.
Why is it, I don't want to go on too much of a tangent, but why is it that like everything Western Electric did seemed to be right? Why even their cable and their tubes and their amplifiers are so revered by certain audiophiles today?
To me, it's a cult. See, Western Electric is from Bell Lab. Bell Lab is what? Inventor of the telephone. That's their main concern is voice. So they do research on the voice and transmission of this voice, quality of this voice. So voice is mid-range. So what we hear. So after they build up Bell Lab, they become the telephone company. Then they also got into the movie theater acoustics. That's where they make Western Electric equipment. Their first Western Electric big theater speaker is actually paper mache.
Oh.
Not metal.
Oh.
Paper glued up, like a Japanese paper built up. The horn is actually paper with a metal frame. So, but why? Because Western Electric Company engineers, they all are trained in getting the voice right, mid-range. So when the movie industry become to boom and the new movie become talky in the early 30s, I think, then they hire Western Electric to build them movie theater, soundstage, equipment, movie house, and then electronics. And also during World War II, the US government, they researched in electronics for warfare, submarine.
Yeah.
So at that time, the available technology, all wires are cloth insulated. And then their technology is metal. The first Western Electric horn, a paper mache. Then the next is sheet metal. Later on, cast iron. And of course, Dr. Forrester, D. Forrester, they invented the tube. So all the single small tube, single-ended, small power. But for small power, they build a big efficient horn to amplify the sound. And the first big horns are for movie houses, stadiums, ballparks.
Yes.
So the Japanese later on discovered that, wow, good but Japanese is very strange. They live in tiny rooms, but they want giant speakers. So usually you go to Japan, you see their room filled with two giant speakers, JBL.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of tuning with those. At first, when we first went to Japan with our stuff, the people said, I have this room, boom, cannot control. So we put in 4 stands with our disc and the stand and put it around the speaker, boom, control the speaker sound, totally different. So they get shocked, so they have to pay.
So modern acoustic treatment people, they focus on the reverberation of the room and reverberant time. They focus on measuring the room and controlling bass with bass traps. They're coming up with different types of absorbers over certain frequency ranges, but your stuff doesn't do any of that. So where do you think, why do you think they've gone in that direction, and why have you not gone in that direction? Where is the disconnect between that world and kind of what you do?
Because you see, the industry, audio or acoustic industry, they're all built by engineers, a lot of them. They all want to see formula and how it works physically, and whether it's measurable. So to them, they think about sound, acoustic sound, as waves bouncing around in the room. But actually, there's a lot more than waves bouncing around in the room. It's also the material inside the room that's vibrating at the cellular level or even at the atomic level. Those they ignore.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't calculate, they couldn't measure it, see? So they just invent sound traps. We have booming bass, you suck it up. It's got good, it works to a certain extent, but they forgot that what they use to suck up those sound or reflection or panels, the material they use actually has bad resonance.
Yeah.
Like the foam, rubber, absorbing, plastic, diffusers, they use MDF. So theory, the mechanics works, but the sound is not as natural.
Yeah.
So we came along and we add the wood factor into the room.
Yeah. And so if somebody has too much bass, Mpingo treatment's not going to fix that, right? If someone has too much bass in a room, maybe they just need a different speaker. Maybe it's the wrong speaker for the room, and you don't try to band-aid that with some giant bass trap that's going to have its own tonal signature.
Yeah, because, well, giant bass trap, like round columns, we give it a nickname called the Roman Palace, with big round columns. Works to a certain extent. It dry up the sound, suck up the boom, and makes the sound sterile. So what we do is, if somebody has a room that has a booming standing wave problem, you just tell them to put in boxes at the corner, pile up paper boxes filled with books, anything paper to load it. The high density loading, you suck up less, boom. Low density loading, you suck up more, boom. So look at my corner, it just pile 3 boxes on there and the standing wave will be gone.
And that's better than like a Helmholtz resonator?
Oh, that's a different thing, because
that sucks a specific
works with specific range and different diffusers, different angles, and certain frequencies. But the material they use for that is usually wood or MDF or plywood. It does this job, but then the material they also add their part of the signature into the reflection.
Yes.
So therefore, it's not as ideal. I don't say they don't work.
Yeah. So these tonal signatures that we're talking about today, the tricky thing about them is they're not something that really can be measured.
That's right. Cannot be measured.
Right.
Sound quality cannot be measured.
Yeah.
If AI can do that, then we'll be out of business.
Yeah. What is it about the tonal quality? How does one know what good tonal quality is versus not? How does one know what natural, when you say natural tone, what's the reference?
The way I figure is the human brain is the ear, the brain is so sensitive, as trillions of brain cells working, and they can detect anything that's tiny. And you cannot cheat the brain. Once it heard the sound that's pleasing to the brain, it will remember it. and anything that's not pleasing to the brain is just rejected. So that's the only thing I can think of that can explain what is good sound, what is bad sound. So what bad sound is, mostly if you go to a hi-fi room, somebody play in an expensive $1 million system and you cannot sit for 15 minutes, then that's bad sound.
So, okay, back to the origin story. So you're about to go to the first CES with your Ebony created LS35A. Is that what you brought to the first show?
Yeah, but by that time we already invented the disc, perfected the disc.
Here's a question. What, was it called Mpingo because you actually used Mpingo, or because Mpingo is a type of ebony?
Yeah, okay. The word Mpingo means in African, the tree that sings. Okay, but that's actually grown in the Eastern Africa.
Okay.
And the Mpingo wood is actually an African rosewood family.
Okay.
I use this because it's an oddball name, and I thought about like fancy names that will
Yes.
confuse everybody. So because Mpingo is actually a rosewood family, they call it the blackwood in Africa.
Okay.
And the blackwood is not purely in the scientific species, it's not ebony. So ebony is a different species of wood.
I see.
But since I started with the word Mpingo, it sounds attractive.
Got it.
So I just stuck with it.
Well, that worked on me because I remember when I first heard about Mpingo discs, I probably did a lot of research on Mpingo wood. And you sent me down the wrong path. So, got it. So, you've got the disc, you've got the LS35A, and you go to your first show with
and
those
we already developed the application of it because 1 year before the first CES show, we already invented the disc, and we tested it in rooms around here among our friends and in Hong Kong, the audiophile users. So we decided the application is to have a stand with groups of 3 of these discs in a certain level. The floor level, about the 4.5 feet level, in that area where the sound wave hits it most in the room. So with the quarter reflection points, and we place those, and it does change the sound field within that area. So that's the beginning of what we call a quartet, 4 stands. And we later developed into 6 stands and 8 stands for a room. And some customers finally went crazy and they used 18 stands.
Yeah.
And then we extended the level from 2 level to 3 level in the room, so it covers up the whole volume of the room.
Yeah.
And that's how we developed the quartet first.
Yes.
That's why we first show in CES is the speaker, my turntable, and my SP11 before, and we got the disc, and we went to the Las Vegas show.
And this is are we talking about the very same turntable that we had?
This is what actually went to CES.
Wow. And the same
SP11 over there.
Oh, okay.
On the opposite
That went
side.
to the first CES.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, so actually I make a jig to hold the 3 legs, pull out the whole turntable without the thing falling apart, and then make a ebony round feet to screw underneath, and took it to CES.
So you didn't have this ebony stand?
Ebony stand stayed here.
I see.
And then the CES took that, and we built a simple stand for it to sit on the CES.
I see. Okay. And that was kind of the birth of the company? That's when people first learned about it?
Yeah, the first year, I forgot somebody, my Hong Kong friends suggested, why don't you go exhibit in CES?
Yeah.
So we didn't know anything. So we went first year, we went to CES, the Sahara Casino in the low bi-level, crummy old rooms. And it was all bad sounding. Everybody complained their system is no good because of the room. So we solved that later on.
Yeah.
We learned quickly how to tame the room.
And this was pre-internet, so the original business was finding dealers back then, right?
The dealer was very simple. The story is like this. First year in CES, first day we opened, one short guy, bald head, came wandering in with a paper bag, and he turned out to be Mr. Jerry Gladstein.
Okay.
You know who Gladstein is?
No.
He's the godfather of hi-fi in New York. He owns the Carnegie, he's trustee of Carnegie Hall.
Okay.
He owns the Orpheus Orchestra
Okay.
in New York. And he's a wealthy guy
Yeah.
that loves music. And he financed all these startups. And he loses a lot of money.
Okay.
But he doesn't care. So, but he actually loved music.
Yeah.
Because he's in with Carnegie. All the artists went to his house, they know him, and he knows what good music is. So he wandered into our room and listened to our little speakers. Wow, you know, so natural. So he's the guy who starts dragging in all the Michael Framer, all the writers, reviews. Say, you must go and listen to this room called Shun Mook. So I remember Michael Framer, who you know, he came dragging in, he listened, and usually he's very cocky, but he knows his stuff, but he couldn't complain one thing. But usually in other rooms, he said, this is no good, and he walk away. Maybe you should edit out Michael Framer.
He's a friend, he'll laugh, he doesn't care.
Yeah, but he's a fine guy.
Did he write about it?
No.
Okay.
Until later on, he did review the record clan.
Yeah.
Okay, but Michael, you know, he knows his stuff, but he knows everything, so everybody's scared of him. But we didn't know who is this guy, you know. So,
he'll like this conversation because it'll make him feel good about it, you know. Like he's powerful. He's very powerful.
But later on, then the reviewers all came and listened.
Yeah.
Some believed, some couldn't believe their ear. One reviewer said, it's just snake oil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So they wrote about the snake oil.
Oh.
But we don't care. We're not in the business. I don't care what you write. But Jerry Gladstein introduced us to the people who are important to the industry. And even though they didn't write the first year, a lot of dealers came in. At that time, the CES was still exclusively for dealers, not end users.
Right.
So the shop dealers came and listened, and those with ears saying they know that they all want to become dealer and sell this thing. So that's how we got started.
Very cool.
Become a hobby business.
Yeah.
We didn't make too much money out of it, just enough to buy my records.
And it was nice not to work at the power company anymore, working on Kaiser's electrical system.
No, because both Dr. Tan and I, he's independently wealthy from Hong Kong.
Yes.
And I don't care about, I own my house. I don't have to pay any mortgage. So I'm comfortable. So I don't care. So we do it just for fun.
All right. So where did you go from there? So after the disc, what came after the disc?
After the disc and the LP clan, that's another thing we developed early on.
Okay.
In the,
let's grab this.
It's actually an ebony, but it's actually a root of the ebony. It was quite heavy, hard to find.
The root of the ebony.
Briar. Yeah, it's a heavier part, but still, we make this spindle very simple to look at, but a lot of trade secrets inside that has to be done to it.
And you're going to tell us about those trade secrets today?
No.
But you don't make them anymore, sure.
Even if I tell you, you cannot find this material anymore.
Right.
Yeah. So, but in today's market, I think they're very
desirable. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it can go for like $4,000 and up.
I know. I see them periodically.
But so far, nobody can copy or come close to it. I don't know why, but...
And so Why does ebony wood as a record clamp change the sound of the record?
Okay, so it does not have to be a record clamp. I can just get a chunk of ebony,
Yes.
drill a hole in it, and put it on top of the record, and
Yes.
it'll still improve the sound.
Okay.
Because even though the platter, the record sitting on the platter, the needle is in the groove, okay, scribing the groove and sending the signal back to the clamp. But why is everything that's attached to the record, touching the record, also can be picked up by the needle? Because the moving coil, the stylus amplification is around 300,000 times of the signal.
Yeah.
So if you have tiny nano vibration inside the energy resonance can be picked up by the stylus. So that is why record clamp or record weight or record anything can change the sound.
Do you think if someone could build a platter out of ebony, that would be a good record platter?
We thought about that before.
Yeah.
We thought about even laminating the top. But ebony is a very unstable wood. It would shrink like crazy because it's grown in the forest that's humid. Once you take it out in Africa, when they saw in Africa, they dip it in hot wax.
Yeah.
It's sealed up. So you have to let it dry for over 8-10 years before you can cut it open and work on it. Because otherwise, once you cut it, we actually cut wet ebony, fresh wood, remove the wax, turn it on lathe, and immediately you see the crack coming out just when it's turning. So it's that unstable. So to make an ebony platter is impossible. If you have a steel base, glue it on, you have to allow for the expansion like the hardwood floor. But nobody's crazy enough because the time and effort to go in to build this and still the result may not be appreciated because turntable, as you know, it's another complex subject that's hard to explain what is a good turntable.
So maybe now's a good time to talk about the phono cartridge you designed, but would you also believe that the tone arm made out of ebony would be a good idea?
Yes, we did have a tone arm, partial tone arm. We improved the gram tone arm one time for a customer. The stick in front, we made it out of ebony, and it did improve the sound. But as you know, the factory wand has the removable wand is heavier, so we have to add a weight to the ebony wand to balance it off. And to do it, and because the gram uses a special plug, it's difficult to get, and plus it's a lot of work to make a wand, and unless you're crazy to spend the money, nobody wants to do it. The factory doesn't want to do it. So for us to make an ebony wand out of a tone arm, only certain parts that are easier to machine, like the head shell, the balance weight, we can trim with ebony. But the rest, we'd rather not touch it because it's not our specialty.
So you've done a head shell?
Head shell, ebony head shell, yes.
Yes. And was that for a specific tone arm? Or that was for a universal mount type of?
Okay, because we only believe in one tone arm, which is a Japanese old SAEC 407/23.
Whether it was a knife?
Double knife. Holding on the side. It's actually an SME, but the Japanese, as you know, are very good in upgrading everything. So they take the SME and then they improve it a lot. So at that time in the 80s, that's what we found out. And so far as tone arm goes, I still think that this SAEC 407/23 still beats everything that's in the market.
I see. Did they come out with ones later that you didn't like as much?
No, they have a lot of different models. It's almost the second to the last they make. It's the best sounding one because they use the material is a hardened aircraft aluminum tube. And also it's very complex inside. But because we can buy it, so we cannot improve anything else on it because it's difficult.
Yeah.
Except for the head shell, we make a simple block of ebony, cut it, and put a SME connector to it.
Right. They had pretty advanced machining equipment to make this.
Yeah, the machining part is the easy part. All you need is a micro lathe, tiny Eastern Germany at that time.
Okay.
A little lathe that you do and you microwave, you just cut it. High speed mill cutter, but very small cutting tool. Because ebony, if you use a big cutting machine, the material itself will tear easily. And if you don't block it or put it in a certain way, it will just chip away. And as you know, when it's turning on the lathe, certain resonant energy hit it, the whole thing will explode. Bang, it will just shatter like glass.
Yeah, wasting a lot of money.
Well, besides that, it's difficult, but we didn't have it shatter on us, but it cracked on us oftentimes. But the head shell is small, so it's easy. The cartridge, what happened is we kept using the ZYX standard cartridge before.
Yes.
And one day we thought, why don't we just make a body out of it? And it so happens my Japanese Shun Mook dealer at that time knows the owner of ZYX cartridge company. And he asked him if he will put in an engine for us if we build a body. So the owner said, okay. So we started with building, we start sending drawings back and forth and then until decided the shape and the size and what they want inside. So we build the outside shape and the inside component that hold the engine. So that has to be very precise. So even though it's very tiny, so it's time consuming to make it accurate parts. So for metal is easy. You just have the machine that will make metal. But for ebony, it's very difficult to make tiny pieces accurately.
So ZYX, the phono cartridge manufacturer based in Japan, you were removing the body of their cartridge, using the guts, the engine of it.
No, we actually make a body set with parts inside ebony, and we send it to them, and they install the engine for us.
So they used their own needle, cantilever,
the coil,
suspension mechanism.
Yeah, we pick. So they have several models, but I know which model sound the best for us. So we asked for that model.
Yes.
And that model, we only changed one time to an upgrade in 33 years.
I see. And so he was building it to your specifications with...
No, that's his standard stuff. We don't need our specifications. That's their expertise. So we just select what they have, their best unit, and put it in our body.
And you would do that work yourself? You would put it in the body?
They will install the engine itself.
Into your body?
Yes. And then when it comes back, I do the fine-tuning inside. Yeah.
What does the fine-tuning entail?
Fine-tuning, you actually listen and tune and add certain things and remove certain things. So until everything is balanced right. So it's just nano kind of tuning, which time's consuming. Maybe same thing, check it, not check it, adding, taking out, until each one is individually tuned.
So this phono cartridge, what was the name of it?
Just a
Shun Mook cartridge.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I only made the first batch, made 60 units. And the second batch, I made 30 units.
Okay.
That's very limited.
Yeah. It was time consuming?
No, it's actually certain people who want to use it, all our regular customers that are into the analog. Yeah. Once they heard it once, they don't want to use any other cartridge.
Yeah.
So that's about it. To make it a lot more, not that I don't want to make them, it's just that it's hard to sell. The market is not there because we cannot, our the engine is glued to the body, and you cannot retip or repair it.
Oh, you can't retip the Mpingo.
Lately I found somebody who can actually retip it.
Oh, really?
But the factory don't want to work on it.
Oh, they don't want to work on it.
Well, they don't work on anything. Anything for warranty work, they just give you a new one.
Oh, I see.
Nobody repairs cartridges except maybe Benz. They do that.
Ben's Micro.
Or what's his other name in Holland?
Oh, yeah, Van den Hal.
Yeah, Van den Hal. He does repair.
And he'll retip other brands too.
Yeah, but he's very small. But ZYX is very big.
Yeah.
And they just crank it out like assembly line.
Got it.
And anything wrong, they just give me the old one, give you a new one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier for them.
Yeah. All right. So we've talked about the Mpingo disc. We've talked about the cartridge. These speakers, was that next? Was that next on the line?
After first year CES, we showed the little monitor. Second year, people will say, well, your sound is good just because you have an Ebony monitor. So we chose a pair of teal, standard factory model, THIEL, teal.
Yeah, sure.
So we intentionally bought a pair of teal and put it in the CES show.
Without any doctoring from you, just regular, off the
regular
shelf.
tube, but of course we doctored the inside. And still the sound is great. And so therefore, the second year is like that.
Got it.
Then third year, Dr. Tay said, well, the tune, he looked at it very simple. We can build a speaker. No problem. So what we did is we're not speaker designers. So we went to Medi-Sound. At that time, they have a kit.
Who?
Medi-Sound.
Oh, Medi-Sound, sure.
At that time, they have a kit which has this setup. And
with a Dyne Audio woofer. All Dyne Audio.
From their kit with a crossover. Already packaged.
Was that an Isatar tweeter?
Yeah. So we just bought a kit and built a cabinet by hand out of Finland plywood. At that time, it's the best plywood. It's the birch ply, but 19 layer for 3/4 inch. So we built a cabinet, put a kit in, and we tuned the heck out of it.
So when you say tuned the heck out of it, what are we talking about? Putting Ebony inside the cabinet in certain places?
In the cabinet, you line up certain spots with Ebony, but mainly the crossover unit is built on top of an Ebony board. And then the crossover parts are bound together with Ebony board, Ebony pieces stuck to it. So by Ebony touching the capacitor, the coil, it changes sound a lot.
Just Ebony touching the capacitor changes the sound.
Yeah, because the Ebony material absorbing the energy from the coil or from the capacitor, whatever it is, however small it is, still excite inside the Ebony cell structure, and it will feed back, and somehow this energy comes out in the signal in the speaker.
Do you think somebody one day could make a capacitor with Ebony acting as that sink built into the capacitor?
I don't think so, because the capacitor, as you know, is layered of chemical with sheets of paper or foil or plastic, and Ebony, you cannot put Ebony pieces in that thing, so you can only do it to the outside.
I see. When you connect the Ebony to an electronic component like a capacitor, what do you connect it with that preserves?
No, the mechanical contact.
Oh, mechanical contact.
Mechanical contact is just by either glue, wood glue, crazy glue,
and
or silicone.
Those glues don't have their own tonal signature or change?
Yeah, but so we select a kind of glue that has minimum, they're very neutral in sound, or no resonance signature at all, or minimum, very minimum. So we choose that. Wood glue is such a compound. Silicone is also very neutral. The crazy glue is very thin, a little bit, so you just don't put everything there, you just glue a few spots, and it's just touching it. A lot of the ebony material touching whatever you're going to tune it.
Yes. And who did the beautiful paint job?
The paint job, actually, there's a big story behind this sunburst paint job.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
To briefly, one year in CES show, we were exhibiting after the Teal fiasco. Okay, the Teal speaker. The next year, we build this speaker. We build this speaker called Bella Voce, and we take it to the Las Vegas show. And wow, at that time, it still sounds beautiful. It's done by us. When they ask us, wow, how come, what's this? What made you a lot of questions? So the key thing with this cabinet is a cabinet, and in the base is a piece of maple butcher block. And the pegs, ebony, the bottom is with ebony peg for legs. And the binding post has two Mpingo discs with a binding post going through it. So inside is about 7 discs, some of those cable wraps to tune the cables inside. And the crossover is ebony board with components stuck on it.
Okay.
And the speaker behind it has disc and ebony pieces on it. So this went to CES for first year, and it was sound very good. It was actually a hit. Many people, or not many, few people ordered. So we kept developing, but during 1 year of show, a British guy, 2 guys came in and listened. We were playing the Shadows record. Okay, the British guy came in, he heard it way down, Alexis Pye was down the aisle there, he heard this, he walked in, and 2 guys, one, they sit there, and they both don't want to leave. So because this guy turned out to be, he's a fan of the Shadow. He also played in a band. Yeah. Because he said, wow, that's exactly the sound that I know of the Shadows, playing real live Shadows in England. Yeah. And the other guy is a dealer who later became the Shun Mook dealer in UK. After the Las Vegas show, he said, can I come to your, visit San Francisco? He said, come to visit your rooms. So he came and listened, and he was looking at my system. At that time, it was the SP11, or it was a reference, phono reference already, reference 2, Mark 1. Line amp, and I was using an MI75, the Macintosh vintage industrial amp for driving these 2 things. And he looked at it, he said, oh, very nice, everything. He said, how much do you think it will cost? I said, about 100,000. He said, okay, bill me everything. So he ordered everything. He said, you want money now? I said, no, when I'm half finished, you can send half and later on half. So it turned out this guy, he is the owner of a big staging company for rock and roll shows. Oh. We were those big rock and roll stage that they play the concerts. Yeah. He's the owner of that. And he became very wealthy, and he bought a mansion, filled everything hi-fi inside. It's hi-fi. Bought a pair of this Bella Voce speaker in the high gloss backplate. And after he got delivery of that and all the other amps we made for him, get used for him, and one day he called me, he said, well, I am a collector of Gibson and Fender guitars. Can you make one out of Sunburst with Fender or Gibson finish? Got it. I said, well, we could try. Yeah. So we talked to the finisher, who is a piano repair guy here locally, San Leandro. He just finished repair and refinished pianos. So we had him use the Steinway lacquer on the black Steinway black pair. So it's 20 coats of Steinway lacquer. Cost us about $3,000 for a pair, I think, to finish. It takes 2 months because it takes time. You have to spray it, rest, spray, polish, rest, polish, spray. Many steps. Got it. So he said, well, to do a Sunburst, I showed him some Fender pictures. So it's from this color to this tone. He said maybe doable. So he used a card of plywood and paint a primer on it, and he spray it like that, and he sent a photo of it to the rich guy, and he said, "Is this something you can approve?" He said, "Oh, okay, yeah." Then we tuned it back and forth a few times, and we finally settled in this color.
Beautiful.
But in working on it, Dr. Ten is the guy who tuned it. So he said somehow everything's the same, but it sounds warmer. So he figured the only thing different is the color. So we discovered that the color also has some, maybe the wave refraction is different, maybe the color pigment is different.
Yeah.
Don't know why, but it sounds warmer. Or maybe psychologically, when you see it, you feel warm. Why the Buddhists wear a yellow-orange coat, shuri? You know how the monks in Thailand,
Yes.
they all have this orange color? That's a very natural sounding material, color.
Interesting.
So the only reason we couldn't figure out why, but it sounds warmer.
Yeah.
Noticeably warmer.
It's interesting when you talk about what the color might have an effect on you. Sometimes I know that I bring my own emotions in when I'm listening to my system. Some days my system sounds incredible and everything sounds perfect. Some days everything sounds wrong. And I know it's me, not the system that's changed.
It could be.
And if I go to the gym and I exercise and I come home and I listen, everything sounds better. So I wanted to talk about the dowsing that you developed for audio, because that kind of falls in the realm of maybe the unexplained.
Dowsing is actually, the theories. To me, I study it, and mainly it's the human aura. All humans have aura. So male is going out left hand, coming in the right hand. So this going this way, going that way, and the hand going in and out. If you study the yoga, the chakras, points, that's also the aura points, the energy points. So in Qigong, meditation, Chinese Qigong or meditation, they all have aura moving the energy of the human, enhancing it. So dowsing is one form of that, but only thing they use an instrument. Usually in the beginning, ancient people, when they want to find water, somehow they discover that using a branch with a stick pointing it, holding in their hand, and they can discover water underground. So they can either magician or wizards or witch doctors or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but actually, I think it's the human aura in reaction in nature to water or other kind of things. Then later on, the instrument become rods.
Yeah.
The rods going up and down or this way, and become pendulums. So one day, the wife of Dr. Ten started getting into pendulum dowsing for health food.
For what?
Health food.
For health food.
Yeah, because with the dowsing, you can determine with an instrument whether any food is good to your body or not.
And when we use the word dowsing.
Dowsing is the word, yeah. Dowsing is a process where you put an energy to an instrument, and the instrument is in relation to your aura or your mind, okay, in the reaction to the certain things. So if I use a pendulum to dowse, then I can find out if this is good for me or not good for me.
And does dowsing always involve a pendulum?
No, the pendulum is just an instrument. It doesn't have to be a pendulum. It can be a chain of keys.
Okay.
It will still move without you turning it.
Something that has the ability to move.
Yeah, because the human somehow subconsciously is moving that. You're not swinging it like this,
I see.
If you try it, I will let you try it later on.
So somehow the human is subconsciously moving it.
Your aura or your energy
is moving it.
Is moving it. And
Maybe the way that a human aura would move a Ouija board.
now, Ouija board, I didn't go into it because Ouija board is 2 or 3 people
Oh,
touching it.
true.
And then somehow the subconscious is moving. Okay, that's, but I didn't go do any Ouija board or
Yes.
go into that subject.
Yes.
But this I have tried.
Yes.
And you can actually tell what food is good for you. You can actually find lost items. You can ask the question, I lose my key, where is it? Is it upstairs? And you do it upstairs here, downstairs, living room, bedroom, and you just do it this way, and if it's that way, it will swing for you.
Really?
It will react. Yeah, very easy.
Wow.
Tea, it will swing. It will swing. A good swing is a positive. If it's good for you, it will swing clockwise. Not good, it will go counterclockwise. Neutral, it will just stay back and forth or forward and back.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very common, very simple. Anybody can do it.
And when you're dowsing with that, obviously in your world, you probably made that out of ebony.
Yeah, the reason why we make a dowsing ebony for sound
Yes.
is because we use ebony. And then we use it certain size like that. And what it does, by hanging there, the sound around this ebony becomes 3D. If I take it away, the 3D is gone.
Do you think that is interacting with you?
No, interacting with the sound energy.
It's interacting with the sound energy.
Yeah. Somehow the shape of that and the resonance character makes the sound more 3D. That's the way only way I can explain it. The reason I have it back there on the stick is I can move the stick, swing it in, the sound stage will move back, follow it.
So you've got a bunch of them,
Yeah,
two in
if
the
I
corner.
move those 2, swing out, the sound stage will follow it to come out. Actually, the sound stage will move back and forth. Later we can try. I'll show you.
Yeah.
I swing the ebony and the sound stage. Woo! Come in the front. That's crazy. He couldn't believe it.
Incredible. And so, like, when you first started thinking about this, it started with your partner's wife.
Yeah, she is into health food, and she said, "Oh, I want to do dowsing. I've studied this dowsing,
Yeah.
and you make me a pendulum." So we make him a pendulum out of ebony, and she says, "Oh, testing the banana, the apple, the cigarette, the Coke, good, no good."
Yeah.
And then we said, "Well, this can certainly do it." So we said, maybe we can douse it with ebony and put it on a CD. So if I douse the CD, change the sound. Later on, we try it. You would hear the difference. You listen to it once. I douse it.
So was that the first experiment, dowsing with the CD after health food?
Most obvious is CD, but actually later on we can douse the whole preamp, the whole turntable, the whole phono amp.
And just doing it and then taking it away leaves an effect on it.
Yeah, because what I think is the human aura of me
Yeah.
gets transferred through the pendulum into that. And that unit picks it up. Somehow the energy goes in there.
Yeah.
So there's no other way because I am not even touching it. See?
And the idea came to you from this woman. You said, let me try it with audio. Let me try this concept, not just for health food, but for audio.
No, Mrs. Tan used it for health food.
Yes.
Then we saw her, she would get us to go test it. Oh, this is good for you, not good for you.
Yeah.
Then it dawned on us that we could try it with a CD.
Wow.
And it worked. So we start using size, bigger size, smaller size. And these are for pocket, putting in the pocket to go around and see if this is good for me, not good for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, mainly we do it for fun. But for the room, that size, hanging in the strategic areas makes the sound 3D. And if I move these 3 forward, the sound stage will come.
And it's not just the ebony acting like a Mpingo disc.
Somehow acting like that.
It is like that.
Acting like a disc, be in that space.
Yeah, but somehow dangling and free with the freedom of movement
with the
and the shape.
dangling, the acoustic energy is hitting it.
Yeah.
And even that piece of newspaper hanging on the string tune the sound.
Yeah. Interesting. All
So
right.
we're doing the nano tuning,
Yeah.
which is very far out. So to the average audio guy or to the scientific guy, they will not believe it.
So we've talked about the dowsing, the Mpingo disc. We've talked about your phono cartridge, this speaker, the Ebony speaker. We'll talk about your new speaker later as a separate segment, and we'll go into detail on that. Were there other products?
Other product is actually there's another one that we built is the diamond tip feet.
Oh, right. I own those big ones.
You used to have a set?
Yes, the big ones. There was one moment in my life where I was like, I needed the money and I sold them.
Uh-oh.
I know.
You cannot buy it back.
I know. I had those big ones.
The prices all went up beyond the
Really?
original retail price.
Damn.
It works like this. The diamond, everything needs grounding, what they call isolation from the floor. So the diamond, we use a single crystal diamond, like a pyramid, on upside and downside. It's embedded into a steel shaft, and the steel shaft is planted under the ebony. So what it does is, like the giant feet, the ebony is touching the chassis. Diamond tip is pointed down. So what we theorize is that there's a lot of energy going in the amp to the electronics component that's vibrating, whatever, enhanced, charged up, and the energy that's hitting the ebony, below it, the ebony gets excited, the cells, and then all the energy gets excited and keep going down until you hit the diamond. So the diamond is a hard material, so it works like a mechanical dial. The vibration goes out one way and cannot come back up, and it escapes instantly because so high, just energy comes whoop, and it's gone.
Mechanical diode, yeah.
So the dial, the bad vibrations or the energy all goes away, and the good musical sound is in the ebony body.
Yeah.
So it feeds back up and thus enhance the sound.
And are they large because you want more surface area under the chassis?
Well, first we made a very tiny one, about 1.5 inch, small one. Oh, very good. That's one time it was first invented going underneath the small speakers.
Okay.
With a wood tip,
wood
ebony
tip.
tip.
Okay.
That instantly blunted pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But later on, we figured, well, if that will work, why don't we make a feet for the amps? So we start out with a 3-inch, which is at that time we have a lot of ebony planks that are 4-inch wide. So we cut blanks, glue it together, put a diamond in there, listen to it, and then put some rosewood in it and listen to it. And then we get to the certain formula that's good.
Yeah.
Then we put our 3-inch, which we call super diamond resonator. That sold a lot.
Yeah.
In the few years between 1991 throughout the 2000 something. Then as audiophile goes, do you have something bigger? I need something big. So we make a 4-inch, bigger diamond. We started with a phono point small diamond tip. Then we go with a 1/4 carat. Then we go with a 1/2 carat. Then we have 1 carat. And some of the custom-made ones are 2 carat.
Do the bigger ones sound better?
Bigger ones sound cleaner. That's the escape is faster.
The escape's faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
But diamond itself, you cannot put a diamond ring and put it on there. The sound is not good for some reason. We cannot explain.
Okay.
Yeah, even that, we put a diamond there, must be good. It's good for that, but not good.
Got it.
Because diamond, because of the the atomic structure is tight, itself does not vibrate. It just doesn't want to accept energy in it.
Accept.
It can go through it and you take it out. So maybe that's the reason it does not excite itself.
And so
So
here's a question for you.
Finally, we have the
Here's
giant
a question
one.
for you. Okay. Let's talk about this turntable. So in some instances, audiophiles talk about isolation of their electronic components. There's so many different kinds, right? There's people that are using spring-loaded, and some people believe it's just metal. There's another company like Combac in Japan that always used tone wood harmonics. Remember Combac harmonics?
Yeah, I know harmonics. Yeah.
So there was the camp that believed in like tone and channeling into something inert like a diamond diode. But then you've got a turntable that doesn't adhere to that. It's springs, right? This turntable is springs.
It's spring loaded, yeah.
So I wonder why is it that for the turntable it's better with springs, but for other things it's better for just the complete mechanical grounding without a spring?
I'm not a mechanical engineer with turntable, an expert on that. So the reason why we use this is because Dr. Tan, when he came from Hong Kong, he already have a Mark III that he brought over.
And so the full name of this turntable is the Oracle
Delphi Mark IV.
Mark IV. Okay.
So he brought a Mark III over, and the Oracle started out with Mark I, Mark II, Mark III, 4, 5, 6, and now it's up to 6. So he in Hong Kong, because he's very wealthy, at that time he tried everything, and he found out that it's still most musical. At that time, the most expensive is the Thoran's Reference.
The Thoran's Reference, yes.
And then the Micro Seiki heavy solid bearing platter.
Yeah, a gunmetal platter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that time, so those are solid bearing. They depend on the mass of the thing so that nothing will hit it and doesn't ring.
Yeah.
We feel that this Oracle engineer, Marcel, his design is that he had the arm board linked to the chassis that holds the spinning platter. And then he's on 3 springs, one offset to one side to offset the weight of the tone arm.
Yeah.
And the 2 spring over on the left-hand side is the same. The one on the right is heavier because it pulls more weight. And the spring is hanging upside down, so it actually is sitting on the spring up and down. But the way the spring is designed, it only is tuned to 3 cycles per second. That means that you push it, it goes 1 second, it goes up and down 3 times. And that's where the rumble is also at the low level, 3 cycles. It cancels the rumble.
So you don't need a rumble filter. So rumble, we're talking about subsonic frequencies.
That's just
3 cycles.
So actually in that range, 3 cycles, 3.1, 3.7, it cancels it because the spring is 3 cycles per second and you have a rumble, it's all the same. So it just can't.
Like noise cancellation.
Therefore it becomes lively because there's no rumbling interfering with it. So that's the principle of the Oracle. The thing is that the springs are not easy to adjust because it's upside down, very difficult to adjust, and it's not simple dial up and down. You have to take it out, turn the other way, and if the wrong way you go over, you cannot go back. You have to start from the beginning. So it's not an easy to use turntable. That's why it's not popular.
And why the Mark IV and not the 6 and 7 and 3?
The bearing is different because in the Mark III or the Mark II, they have a counterweight underneath. Used to be there's one sticking out from the bottom with a weight on it. So it offsets the other side because when it's offset, so later on they incorporate the counterweight underneath here. They added a piece of weight like a horseshoe. So it's under here.
Got it.
And that's why in the Mark III, they have the counterweight hidden. But you still they use a rubber mat. But the rubber mat also absorbs the sound, but it releases it later.